Brock with Straight Line Delivery here, and I'm making a video showing you some of the biggest mistakes I see drivers making. And if you can avoid these, it's the difference between making it and not making it in this industry. I hope you guys can read this writing. If you can't, if you're watching it on a phone, maybe you can expand it to see some of the numbers. But I go through a week from two different types of driver. I'll step out of the way so you can see the board. Driver 1 and driver 2. All right, this is based on a 5-day week versus a 7-day week. And I've got drivers that do both, and either one is fine. It's just a choice that you can make to up the amount of money you make to prepare for vacations, to pay for maintenance. And there's a lot of things that you can do. If you're willing to do a 7-day week once a month, then this guy that does a 7-day week once a month, every 3 months, and this is kind of based off of some reality, every 3 months takes a week off. Because of the extra money he earns doing the 7-day week once a month, he has the money to pay for his vacation, the money to pay himself for the week he took off while he's on vacation, and pay for the maintenance on his truck so that he is maintenanced ahead of time. I call it, some people call it over maintenance. I like to do things before they're broken. So let's go through the breakdown. Driver 1, 600, 1100, 900, 900, 600. That's underpaid because he has to be home Friday, does not want to leave out early Sunday, so we can't get him a very long load on Friday. That's why that's 600. They're having the same kind of week. Although this guy, since he'll leave on a Monday, or a Sunday, instead of making 600, he makes 900 Monday, 1100, 900, 900, and then on Friday, since we can guarantee that he'll be, 700 miles away, since he's willing to work and be somewhere far, far away from his home, on Monday morning, first thing, he gets a $1,500 load on Friday instead of a $600 load on Friday. What does that equal out to? This guy made $4,100, this guy made $5,300. Now, these are gross numbers, and break it down from there as far as fuel costs and expenditures and things like that. We're just keeping things nice and even for the purpose of the video. All right, the next example is a guy who's on time all the time and a guy who sleeps late. This is a 1 week example. They both did 600 on Monday. On Tuesday, they did $1,100 load. But this guy slept in and didn't deliver his load on time, so he got 0 on Wednesday. That hurts. 900, 900, 600. That's the difference between a $3,200 gross and a $4,100 gross. If you're the kind of guy that sleeps in or oversleeps just 10 times a year, do the math. How much money is that? Just by doing your job requirements, getting up on time and being on time. All right? The next example is planned maintenance versus breakdown. And like I said, the guy who does this, he's planning ahead for his planned maintenance. So he'll say, look, I'm going to run 7 days a week, once a month, to get my planned maintenance paid for and to plan which week I'm going to take it. So I know which week I'm going to be down. I'm going to have the extra money in my pocket. I'm going to have the extra money for the maintenance, and I'm going to have the extra money for my vacation. It's all planned as opposed to surprise. All right, 600, 600, 0, 0, 0, 0, $600 a week. That hurts, especially when you weren't planning on it. He goes on and does his normal week, $4,100. The difference between this and this, you can start to see how the guy who plans ahead is going to be so much further ahead financially than the guy that sort of wings it, or the guy who is not willing to do a 7-day work week on occasion, or the guy who just doesn't make good decisions. The last example, and this is one of the most controllable examples, and the way I see money being lost in such a way that is absolutely avoidable, is full week versus interrupted week. I can't speak enough about this. Trucking is designed, the way I run it anyway, is designed to be run at least 5 days in a row. All right? If you cannot run 5 days in a row, multiple weeks in a row, then this may not be for you, quite frankly. Because here's what happens. When you tell your dispatcher you have to be home, driver one has to be home on Tuesday for something, well then, instead of getting a $900 load, you're getting a $600 load. Why? Well, because you can't get that far from your home because you got to be home for something Tuesday. Whether it's a doctor appointment or you've got to get new tires for your truck, that's so unavoidable. If you know your truck's tires are wearing out, you can order some way up here 3 weeks before they are bald, have them sitting there and have a guy do it on a Saturday when you're already sitting at home and you're doing nothing, not on a Tuesday. Then you get a $600 load instead of a $900 load. Why? Well, because now you're at home and you're in a bad freight area and it just couldn't find anything. Maybe the guy didn't get your tires done in time, so we're starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon instead of a fresh start. So you're already behind. 900, 900, 600, 600. So the guy who didn't plan ahead or didn't make his doctor appointment on a Friday afternoon or a first thing Monday morning or let his tires wear all the way out and have to run home and get them fixed, he is so far behind financially. And what I've noticed is the sleep late guy and the I didn't plan for maintenance guy and the I got to go home for something guy, a lot of times those are the same guy. That's the same guy. If you make bad decisions and you don't get up on time and you don't plan ahead, all three of these bad examples could be you. And it's the difference between, in a month, grossing $10,600 and $17,900. Now, if you have 3 or 4 weeks like this a year because you make bad decisions, how much money are you losing? You can't afford to be like that. So if you're going to do this for a living and you're going to be your own boss, then be your own boss. Sometimes bosses aren't fun. Sometimes bosses make you do things you don't want to do. And if you can't make yourself do things that you don't want to do and you can't plan ahead, it can cost you big in your bottom line over the course of a year. I'm Brock with Straight Line Delivery. Thanks.